Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank y'all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, what up? It's DOBLEON.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, man. So, I'm an artist. I'm a rapper to be exact, and I'm coming from Woodburn.
Hell yeah. Now that's deep. Thanks for making the trip out here.
Yeah, I appreciate it,
And what got you started into music initially?
I would say probably my dad. Like growing up, my dad was just a singer.
Okay.
So that got me into music right away.
You were kind of born into it.
Yeah.
Is anybody else in your family very musical, or was that kind of just like the main example?
Yeah, I mean, probably on my dad's side, they just like to sing a lot of ballads and Mexican music. So that was my biggest influence.
Okay, hell yeah, no, that's rad. And then did you get started in singing initially, or did you just find rap super early on?
Nah, yeah, I was singing. Okay. I was singing for a minute before I was introduced to rap. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then before we get into more of what you're doing with music now, I have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on.
For sure.
And this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, man. I probably never bought an album, but I do remember my first album was, it's from this group called Aquid. It's like a duo, Mexican rap. Mm-hmm. And, it was literally it was a bootleg.
Okay.
That was my first copy of any type of rap.
Gotcha.
And it just changed my life.
And when did you, how old were you when you figured out that rapping was something you wanted to do?
Probably 11 years old.
Okay, so still pretty early on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And did you know someone who did it, or did you just hear it somewhere and you were like, oh, this is a thing? Yeah,
I had uncles that would just bust freestyles and.
Gotcha. Okay, so it was still kind of in the family.
Yeah, a little bit. It would linger here and there. You know what I mean?
I guess it's kind of after a time it's kind of permeated into everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to that was specifically one you wanted to go to? So you saw it was happening, got tickets, and went to it.
Oh man, Action Bronson.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just hitting the ground running with that one.
Yeah, man, had to. That was the best. That was my first show that I will never forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet. Who was performing with them?
Oh man, crazy lineup. Rock Marcy, Mayhem Loren.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
This was a big show.
Yeah.
Where did you see him at?
It was at is that the Roseland?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a big show.
Yeah. It was heavy.
And how old were you when you saw that?
Bro, I was 18 years old, I think.
Okay. And had you gone to little shows a lot before that, or was that for your first big music experience?
I had gone to two little underground shows, but I wasn't really active. I guess I wasn't really interested in it yet, or I don't know. It didn't call me.
Yeah.
Action Bronson, I was already super hip to Action Bronson, so when I found out he was coming,
Yeah, you just kind of had to.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I feel that. I'm finally going to my first show at the Moda Center.
Hey.
Like, I've been here for many years now, but I finally am going to go do it. I'm going to go see Childish Gambino.
Hey, it's going to be a good one.
Oh, man, I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
But we're here to talk about you, not me. And before we officially get into you in the present day, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple, but yeah, one that I probably won't forget was when I guess my teacher in high school was telling me that I should, because you're in high school and people want to, teachers to be exact, they want to push you to go to college and, do military and all that. I mean, one of my teachers told me, what the hell are you doing trying to do this? Like, you should make music.
Oh, damn.
And he was cool though, but I don't know, maybe he was
that teacher.
Shout out to that guy, but is that part was like I was real young, so that kind of got me going.
I mean, it's always a big moment when like somebody who is, seen as like an adult, like an authority figure is not the right.
It almost like solidifies it.
Yeah, an adult who's like, no, like this is something you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the nudge that usually can like make or break the like decision to even do something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
exactly.
That is definitely a super solid one.
Yeah, man.
But now let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day. We are going to get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
Minecraft.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was trying to play with my sister, and right when the pandemic was going to hit, I think I just when you play online, like on the phone, you got to pick a name, and I picked the name so fast that like. I didn't even play with her that night. I just stopped and I changed my whole name and all that. It was crazy. Yeah.
Like, this is too good.
Yeah, like forget the game,
What does it mean? Or like, does it have a meaning?
Well, I mean, technically it's supposed to say like double lion.
Okay.
Doble leon. But in the name itself, it says doble o, which like back then that was my name, like double O. Mm-hmm. So it kind of like, it just worked. I'm from August, so I'm a lion.
Gotcha.
So it kind of just like...
Yeah, there's a layer of meaning.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a really cool name. Like it's one of those ones where like when you look at it, it's got a bunch of letters that you would be like, if these were any other letters, it wouldn't quite make sense.
No, I wouldn't.
It's super easy to read. It's got like a feel to it. It almost feels like a French word.
Right.
Like in the sense that it's got this like fancy element to it.
That's crazy that you say that because I'm actually inspired by like a big French artist. I mean, he's Creole and French, but Jean-Michel Basquiat, like his name was crazy to me. And I'm not saying that's where I got my name from, but... Yeah. Definitely that wang that the name has is like what I wanted.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely nailed it there.
Appreciate that.
Said, when I was looking at it, I was like, it's cool how fun this like word is.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm just a big fan of names, so I like to break
hell yeah.
a bit. But now let's go ahead and let's get on into your writing process. And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when you get inspired, you're ready to make music. What are some of the things you do to get a track started?
I probably just... Well, my biggest thing is I make a lot of music with my brother, so I let him cook the beats and just off the sample.
Okay,
is where I get my flows and all that. And once he adds the drums and all that, I'll probably have like a good. It's so random. It's almost like an avant-garde type of process, where I let it rock wherever.
Oh yeah,
it could go deep, it could go left, and so I pen it. Well, the first 3 words, first 3 sentences I have, I just rock with it. And then, I try not to double think on anything.
Gotcha.
I just dump.
And is your brother younger or older than you?
I mean, he's the same age as me. He's right here with us,
cool. Cool.
So yeah, we just grew up together, basically started making music. So
yeah,
my process is like hearing whatever he's cooking up and I'll feel the vibes,
And did he get into production because like you were doing your thing, or like it just like did it all kind of happen?
I think it meshed like perfectly. It was like meant to happen.
Okay.
We started recording each other, doing type beats and all that. But
gotcha.
He went to that. Let's do it. Let's make it from scratch.
And I know it's off camera, but what program do you use? Oh, Ableton, cool.
Hey.
All right, cool. But get back into you. So when you. I guess when it comes to like putting together like the bars from there? Like, so do you do all pen and paper? Do you ever freestyle? Like, do you kind of find a blend in the middle?
I mean, I have freestyled, but my process is, you get on that iPhone and you type up that next wave. Yep. I have wrote, however, but I suck at writing. For me, pen and paper is just putting words on a thing. So I say that, but I mean for sure
phone as well. Yeah,
no, I'm only saying because I'm an MC and like that's the essence to get that pad. And
yeah. No, trust me, my handwriting is garbage. So if I ever did anything with a pen and a paper, I would not be able to do it in the future.
Yeah, my writing goes down as I write.
Yeah, I do the same thing too.
Got like mad ink.
Yep. And then once you get a track finished writing, so it doesn't have to be like recorded and like put out. Yeah. But once it gets to the point where you're like ready to start learning it and getting ready to perform it, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable to the point where you can perform it?
I would say immediately.
Okay. Is that just because as you've been writing it, you're kind of learning it?
Yeah. I would say like as I write, I rehearse step by step. You know what I mean? I do this thing where once I'm like, I know I'm almost done with the song, I'll run it back in my head. And if it flows nicely to that part where I'm not finished, I finish it super fast.
Gotcha.
And it's almost like a wave that I try to capture because it goes away fast. You know what I mean? So I'll tell my homie, yo, let's knock it out now.
The creative process is definitely one of those things where it's like you gotta strike while the iron's hot.
Yes, exactly.
As soon as it goes away, you're like, well, I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, like you're not gonna throw the steak on the pan when it's cold. Like you want it to sizzle.
Exactly.
I need the marks.
I love that.
Exactly.
Now let's go ahead and let's talk about some of your music.
Yeah.
So I jumped on ye old Spotify and you got a grip of music. You've got so much of it going all the way back to 2021 with like 8 albums, a bunch of singles and EPs. I think what's cool is that the earliest thing you have is an album.
Yeah.
Like that's a really interesting touch. But after listening to it as much of it as I possibly could, I was really impressed by how consistent you are. Like beat selection is strong, your delivery is dialed, and even in your earliest work, like the delivery is there. And it's like it's cool to just kind of see that from whatever is the most earliest available thing. You put in the work and the effort. And I was checking out your most recent album, which I know technically you have the collab album with Eric Boderick and Corey B.
Yeah.
But I want to focus more on your most recent individual album. Yeah.
Yeah.
And which it just came out. Been out for about a month now, and it's definitely some of your strongest work.
Thank you, bro.
What I've experienced. And I think the thing that I enjoy most is that it's comfortable. It feels a lot like with what I grew up with, but at the same time, it's like it's new, it's refreshing. It's not just like, oh, this is that again.
Right.
And I do this bit where I pick out a track I really liked. And honestly, it like just through your whole discography, it was tough. So I decided to narrow it down to that album.
Okay.
And it was even still tough then because the album is legitimately kind of a no-skip album.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
But I had to go with one, so I landed on La Pulga with Sage Wally.
Hey, man. Shout out Sage.
Yeah. First of all, the beat is a vibe. Like a big fan. The horns in the beginning were so good. The bass line is super fat. Those drums are so crunchy.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
But your delivery in particular on that track, there was just something about it. It was so smooth and it was so bouncy. And like it like your part was actually kind of giving me like Black Star vibes.
Right.
Which is interesting because they are so different, but like the total energy that usually shows up on one of their tracks is what I was getting from you. And then Sage came in and just switched it up, like brought this much like tougher element and gave the track this really interesting duality.
For sure.
So like, even though like I had to go through the whole album a few times to like, before I was like, this is the one, like that one just really jumped out at me.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah.
But I am curious to know, sorry, I went long on that one. What are some of your favorite tracks of yours?
That's one of them for sure. But I think one of my favorites is probably it's called El Centro, and which is on that project. And then I have another one called I have this thing where I remember them as unreleased names.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have a joint on this tape I have called Bandoleros. It's called Osito. And that was one of my favorite ones too, man. Just those moments, you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But, and oh, sorry, I got caught up. I have so many more like things I want to say about your music, but I want to keep moving on this. Let's talk about some music that you're working on.
Yeah.
Or actually, you know what? I feel like we can't leave the album with Eric Boderick and Corey B off the table. So tell us a little bit about how that one came to be.
Yeah, that was fire. I got to give credit to my man Corey B because you know he had a lot of those cuts recorded already on his end. Mm-hmm. So he kind of just sent them my way, and there was a couple joints that he basically just put on the table, and you know he told me, look, you can hop on it or whatever you want. So there was it went from 1 to 2 to basically a whole project. You know, it was I think it was supposed to be something smaller if I'm not mistaken, but you know that turned into that, and we actually recorded it at 606 up in Portland, but super organic, you know, just clean. I would say it didn't take me no less than like 2 weeks to get all those tracks on my end, like written up and all that. I had some demos laid out, but it was cool getting to go up to the studio and just like having a whole session and recording the whole album. You know what I mean? So it was cool.
Oh yeah, no, that's right.
Right.
Okay, now let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the music that you're working on that isn't out yet. What can we look forward to, or like what are some of the like newer like approaches or tracks that you're working on, and just like kind of tell us about what you got cooking.
For sure. Well, I got a lot, man. I have this thing where I'm just dumping all year. I got a project coming soon. It's probably like 6 tracks. I got a couple collaborative joints coming. Like EPs, I got like 2 of them, and I'm probably gonna end the year with like 2 more projects.
Oh damn!
You know,
you just like
I'm just dumping.
And is most of the stuff that's already like mostly put together, or like just okay?
It's put together. It's been sitting.
Yeah.
So
you're just pulling a T-Pain's Everything Must Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
Everything must go. Exactly.
Damn, definitely looking forward to that.
Like those furniture stores, you know, everything must go. That's
big
me.
Old blowout sale.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's me.
Damn, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah, bro.
Now let's take a moment then and let's zoom out. Let's kind of look at music as a whole. So, and you can either answer this as like when I say newer music, meaning music that's coming out right now, or at the very least, music that's new to you. But what are some of the things about newer music that you enjoy and you're like finding inspiration in?
You know, I think like flow is just like the biggest thing to me. I listen to a lot of Mexican music, like corridos, so it has nothing to do with rap, but just their delivery, it inspires me to just like. Well, I mean, also I got to give credit to the lyrics, you know, the storytelling and all that. It's like rap to me, you know. So when I listen to things like that, I listen to a lot of jazz, and it's always weird how it doesn't matter the genre or what I'm getting into, like it somehow it stems to rap. You know what I mean? Whether it be like a small break on the song that it's rappable, or it's just weird how my mind works with that. But yeah, definitely like Mexican music gets me like on some other next level, like wordplay and
interesting,
you know, reference and all that.
Do you ever have your brother sample a part of something when you like hear it and you're like, oh yeah, this is fire?
Yeah, that's pretty much like when I produce. That's what I like. That's what he gives me credit for. Is like, oh,
gotcha.
You wanted me to chop that. You could just claim that as like you chopped that. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I never really give myself credit like that because that's not. But you know how it is. Like it's just, I just need that little pocket of whatever, whether that be like a childhood track or, you know.
Yeah, no, I get that for
beautiful.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what now I'm curious to know, what is one of the most like obscure things that you've sampled?
Oh man.
Or like that you've ever like pulled something from?
Probably like crazy like 1960s Mexican films that like our parents grew up on, and like Ralph Bakshi films and
damn, I have never heard. I very rarely hear people mention Ralph Bakshi.
Oh man, he's the GOAT. Like, you know what I mean?
That's just wild though.
Yeah, real wild. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, Fritz the Cat, like, you know, things like that. Like there was a lot of but yeah, Ralph Bakshi and things like that had that type of flavor. We for sure put our hands in that, and I'd say that was like the craziest like most obscure.
Oh man, I bet. Well, I've never asked that question before, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, man.
But before we move into the next part here, this next question I've got is probably the densest question in the interview. But we talked a lot about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Oh, man. Probably just, people say like you need reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a reassurance to me, just going back. Because I have this thing where, even when I played sports, it's like, I might have been nice, but I didn't see myself being that nice until, you go back and you see like a highlight or you did some crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I am with music. I might record a couple tracks and think they're all right. And then, listen to them while I'm at work or just doing whatever in my life. And I get to consume it a different way. And it just like gets me even more inspired.
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn, I forgot I made this shit. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Hell yeah, bro.
Now, because you mentioned you did sports, before we officially move into the next part, I every time somebody talks about it, I just have to like kind of move this over for just a moment. What are some of the things between sports and music that you find are like correlative or similar?
Sportsmanship, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man, going to a show and performing with people you've never performed before, and it's almost like, in a way, yeah, you guys are separate teams, right? You guys are your own team, but in a way, you guys are all on one team trying to get the crowd to like y'all. So we all gotta go hard and we all gotta be, you know what I mean? One. It's like a unity thing, but to me, like it's like I can compare it to like soccer, because like me and my homie, we used to both play and we both make music. So, and we kind of both play in the same positions, which is like sweeper. And that's the backbone, bro. That's where, before it gets to the keeper, it's got to get through us, Yeah. So it's I don't know, man. It's like a chemistry that like I picked up, whether that be from remembering a play. Oh, I need you to pass it to the right. It's like the same thing when we record, the drill. I'm gonna put the mic on and it's just a loop, but I'll put the drums in later. Let's record it now. Things like that, where it's like the game plan is there. And I mean, yeah, that's how I would see it as, like. No, that's just nicely.
That's rad. Super. I really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
Bro.
All right, but now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one's pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Right.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Oh, man, messing me up. So many people. You know what, man? I'd probably want to work with. Does it have to be like one person, or can it be like a group? Maybe like a.
Typically, it's supposed to be one person.
One person? Okay.
We'll open it up if you want to.
Well, I would work with like bad, not good. Like.
Oh man, what a good answer! Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something that'll take me out of my element, like just some type of texture like that. But
damn, that's a cool answer.
Yeah, if I'll give you one person. Ghostface. I work with Ghostface for sure.
Okay, hell yeah.
That's like one person that for sure I would get down.
Damn, that would be a rad collab. Everybody at Ghostface.
Yeah, at Ghostface.
Make that happen.
Please. Yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
That's a good one too, man. There's a couple, but I'm in the works of trying to get some work in with my bro App, and but one I really want to work with. I think what him and his homies do is phenomenal. Calvin Valentine. They definitely got that on lock.
Yeah,
and I think it would be dope getting to work with him.
Hell yeah.
Make a classic.
Add him in the comments too. Let's make that happen.
Mad Tigers.
Yeah.
Please.
Hell yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show. It doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere. Where would you want to perform?
Ooh. I would probably perform where my dad's from. So I would perform in Guerrero, Mexico, right by the beach, So just to soak in the flavors over there and playing just nothing but crazy raps.
Yeah.
Scaring everybody off. Like that would be crazy.
Oh yeah. Is that not like a common style of music down over there?
Nah. Because it's more like band and accordion based and acoustic and all that. But what better way than hitting people with like 90s boom bap? I'm sure there would be a lot coming out.
Yeah. See, now you should do a hybrid and have like beats and the band.
Yeah. Like man, come on, talking. That's exactly what I'm on. You know what I mean?
I would go to that.
Yeah, I'd rap while a dude plays accordion if that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Accordion is one of the craziest and most underrated instruments. I don't care what anybody says, but those dudes shred.
They shred, bro.
Like
they shred.
Doing all this stuff, they're squeezing the thing. And there's just so much happening, and everybody just thinks that it's like the simplest thing until they pick one up.
Exactly. That's why that's crazy that you bring that up, because it's the movement, right? And then they have that side falling off, and they gotta finesse a way to
they gotta figure out how to do it.
Kind of messing up. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you gotta remember buttons or keys, and I got a little mini accordion that I play myself. I'm not crazy at it, but it makes me feel like a superhero. Like that's my cape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know how to play like one note, but that one note is like the same one I play. And it just gives me more, like, I pay my respect to anybody playing any type of accordion.
Oh, yeah, very much
like piano. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's gadget.
So much going on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. And before we officially wrap up the hypothetical questions, for this last one, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Oh, man. Probably, I would say it's another Spanish artist that I really like. He passed away too soon. His name's Ariel Camacho, and he solid. Like, he was on a run, the craziest run. I mean, he probably changed regional Mexican music like as a whole.
Oh damn!
And he wasn't even that older than me. So yeah, I would want another album from him for sure.
Hell yeah.
It would have changed everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Let's go.
What can we look forward to? I mean, you already kind of highlighted it, but let's put it here. What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and March?
Oh man, just a whole lot of music, man. Like, I'm talking discography fat as hell.
To double your 8 album count.
Yeah, we're gonna be like to 16.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it nice. Visuals on the way. We got a lot of shows. By March, I mean, who knows? We might have physicals and things like that.
Yeah,
nature. But
do you have any shows coming up soon that you would want to plug?
Yeah, we actually have one coming up on the 7th at Lollipop.
Oh man, that might be like 3 days after this comes out.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, we got another one on the 13th with my man Max and Sage. And then we're gonna run it back like a week after that. Flo's Garden, just a lot of flavor. 3 shows back to back in September. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll be posting about those.
Yeah.
More deets and all that.
Hell yeah. Well, for this next one, go ahead and look at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, man, you can find me at _DOBLEON. DOBLEON to be exact. I'm the same on Twitter or X, Instagram, YouTube, things like that. Bandcamp. Could also find me as El Rey Leon, but you'll see DOBLEON under there, so
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Yeah, man, I'm about to give a whole list. Yeah, man, shouts to Maximus, shouts to Damie. He put me on you.
Oh yeah, shout out to Damie.
Yeah, he put me on to you, so shouts to those homies. Shouts to all the homies, like all the Portland homies that mess with me and got work with me, and I got work on the way with them. Sage, what I'm saying? Shouts to Bo Derek, Corey B. Shouts to my man Cabana. The whole block, specifically the southeast side of Woodburn, but that's where we're gonna show love. You know what I mean? Specifically, shouts to my mom.
Hell yeah. All right, with that being said, we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Oh, yeah.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album that you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
Oh, man. Let me get right. Probably... You're going to have to work with me a little minute.
No, you're good.
It's such a good question, man.
You know, I try to have an answer to this question every episode, and I always, by the time I sit down, I go, oh, I've forgotten what the answer, like, I forgot what I was going to say, and I'm prepared for this.
Yeah, mine's probably going to be like Gucci Mane, World War III, Lean. Yeah, that one is just, I mean, yeah, that's one of those, like, obscure albums where you're just wondering where the hell was he at, like, while he made that. But yeah, that album is pretty crazy to me. That's one that's like, yeah, everyone should at least at one point in their life run that like 6 times. But that's just me though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hey, that's a super solid rec. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
All right, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you.
Oh yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
DOBLEON. You know the vibes.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.